Hey guys, it's Burnt223 here, and today is another video on how to make another server, which is, of course, the Bukkit server, which is the only other type of server you can make, I'm sure, for vanilla Minecraft. So, first of all, you're going to want to make a new folder, and you want to call this, well, I'd call mine Bukkit, but you can call yours whatever you want. I'm going to call mine Bukkit server 2, because I've already got one, just so that the files don't crash. Then you want to go to your web browser, and the first website you want to go in is craftbukkit, which is here. One second, just change the screen thing. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So the first one you want to go to is, like I said, craftbukkit.jar, which is here, and you want to go to downloads, and the download you want is this one, the bottom one that says development build. So you want to download that one. So mine's going to take a minute to download, I think. Yeah. So it's going to say it's harmful, but you're just going to keep it. So I'll wait till this is downloaded and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so once you've done that, you want to drag it into your folder. So, but this isn't it. Yes, in case you just, so don't jump ahead, don't pause the video and think you can do the rest from here, because it's completely different to the other server. So, next what you're going to want to do is create another new file inside that folder, make it a text document or a Word document, any kind of thing you want, and you just want to name that. Well, you can name it whatever you want for now. And then you want to edit it, so you want to go into it, and then you have to go onto this website, which is setting up a server or Bukkit server, and whatever operating system you're on, you want to get this, what's in this box here. So I'm using Windows, so I'm going to use this one. Yeah, so you want to copy and paste it into the notepad, like that. And then what you can do after that is you can get rid of the pause, which you don't need, because that just well, I'm not really sure what it does, but you can get rid of it if you want to. I think it just means that you can restart it, I think, because it doesn't automatically close the close the run file. So you can just save that as, and then you want to call it run.bat, and this where it says here text document, you want to save it as all files. So then you want to save that. And then when you go, as you can see in here, it'll be saved as a run, with the Windows batch file, or whatever kind of batch files on your on your operating system. So you can close this notepad file, and you can also delete the text document that you made in there as well. You can delete that out of there. Right, and then what you want to do next is crucial. You want to rename the jar file that you downloaded just to craftbukkit. Oop, can't spell. Craftbukkit. Right, whatever you do, don't ever open the .jar file. So just before I go on, yeah, so I'll put this Windows I'm not sure the code. I'll code this code into the description, so you can just go into the description and copy it, and other than having to go to this site, which is the wiki, Bukkit wiki thing. But I will put a link to this website as well in the description. You can close this one. If you want it on the latest version of Minecraft you're playing on, always go for the development build. You can go for the recommended build, but you'll only be able to play it on 1.6.4 if you're on 1.7.9 now. So yeah. Also, when there's bug fixes, like for Minecraft, the plugins, which I'll go into a bit later, some of them don't tend to be updated until a proper update, unless it's a while till there's a proper update. But anyway, so now you can just double click the run. Hopefully this should work. There you go. So if it's worked, it should say loading libraries, and it should say please wait, which is what you want. So what this is basically doing is what the other server does, the normal server, except on a more complicated scale, because it has to make more of these little these files in this server thing, folder, sorry. So as you can see, like I said a few seconds ago, everything will appear like it does in the other one, in the other server, except we have a few extra ones which I'll go into a bit later on. But as you can see, it's still generating the spawn, unlike the other one. The other, I'm just trying to think. Sorry, my mind's dead. Just like the other server, it generates this. This is what you'd be able to see in the other one if it would let you see it. But basically, so when you do the run file, this is your command prompt window. So it's basically just like the other server. So to stop it, you just do stop, and it'll do everything it does for the other one, and it'll stop the server. So there you go. So now you've stopped it. Basically, now you can edit your where's it gone? The server files again, so the server properties file. So you can edit all these again. I won't go for these again. Okay, so once you've edited your server properties, you can just save that. If this is the first server video you've watched on how to make a server on my channel, if you check out the other server video I made, I went over all the different things in the server file folder thing, what each of the individual things do. Now, with a lot of Bukkit servers, the reason people make Bukkit servers is because you can get plugins. So I'll go over plugins in a minute, but I'll just first of all go over the other things in this folder. So first of all, logs is basically just like the other one, the other server, which is in here. So like I said, the logs is just basically what you is what was running basically, and whatever was said in the chat is saved in there, which is what you want. I can close that now. So like I said, I'll go over plugins in a minute. So these 3 world files are just basically this is the overworld, that's the nether, and that's the end. So unless you want to put your own worlds in, you just have to get rid of those and put your thing in. So banned IPs and banned players obviously is what you're gonna put your banned players in. So you don't have to edit these 2 files, Bukkit or commands. Like I said before, don't double click craftbukkit, because basically the server will just run by itself and you won't be able to do any console commands or nothing, which is not what you want. Help. Help is just how to use the batch file a bit and stuff like that. Ops is basically, like I said in the last video, you can put your pre-ops in there before you start the server. Permissions. Don't know what permissions is, it's an empty file. If you want to find out what permissions is, feel free to take a look for yourself. Server, like I said, is just a server file, things you can properties you can edit. Whitelist is if you only want certain people on the server, and the user cache is something I have no idea about, but I will find out about that when I'll put that in the video later on when I get the chance. But now I will go on to plugins, and basically is a plugin. If you don't know what a plugin is, it can basically add something extra to your server that the other server can't have on it. So, let me just think. So, like a warp. So you can set a warp, or you can make a Hunger Games map, or something like that, and save it onto your server. Or you can have a little like special coloured text thing for your server. So I'll just go over how to get those now. So to get your plugins, you want to go to the official plugin one, I think, and you just want to type in plugins.bukkit.org, and it'll come to here, and there's a search engine here. Make sure you clicked on all, otherwise you'll only get ones for these categories. So basically you can type in something like, I always do warps for my server, or teleportation. I'm pretty sure it's easy warp I use. Yeah. So basically, when you found a plugin you want, so I'm gonna get easy warps. You click on download, and that'll take you to the page. And basically, this will just tell you what's in the update for this plugin. And then you have to click it download here again. You're gonna click that, and it'll download as a .jar file normally. If it doesn't, you have to extract it from a .zip file. If you haven't got a .zip, you have to download a .zip file thing. So once you've downloaded it, you can just go back to the search page. And then what you want to do is you want to go into the Bukkit server folder and open plugins. And then drag the .jar file into the plugins. And there you go, now it's actually in that will be in your server. It's as simple as that. So I'll just get a few more plugins for my server, for this temporary server, and then I'll be right back with you. So as you can see, I just downloaded World Edit, and that is downloaded into a WinRAR file for me. And as you can see, the actual .jar file is here. So you want to put the .jar file, drag it out of there and extract it into the plugins, and it's just as simple as that. You can take a look at these if you really want to, but there's really no point. Okay, so I've got all the plugins I want here for now. So I've got Easy Warp, World Edit, and Multi-World. So these 3 I think are probably some of the basic ones you can get. So Easy Warp is just warps basically, and you can set warps. World Edit is the one where if you don't know what it is, you have like you can use an axe and you can edit huge chunks of land. I'll go over these 3 plugins in a minute. And Multi-World allows you to create multiple worlds inside your server, and then once you've created it, it'll show up here with these other worlds. But I'll now go over this now. So once you finish looking for plugins, by the way, you can just close your browser. Right, so now back in your folder, if you run your server again, I'll just wait for mine to run, and that'll also open Minecraft. That wasn't very smart of me. So when your server is starting like it is now, it's gonna alert you that, see, it says world edit and easy warp are configuring and editing into the world, which basically means the server has generated, but it just apologies, Bandicam cut me off as it always does. As I was saying, basically, it is now just configuring any plugins into the world, and it'll alert you with some of these, and it might come up with some error messages. If it does, or if it doesn't say that if it doesn't mention the plugin at all, it might mean that the plugin hasn't been updated to the version of the server file you're running or using, which means you can't really use that plugin unless you downgrade your absurd. Sorry, let me get this again. So, no, what I mean is you'd have to get your server to an earlier version of Minecraft to be able to play it on that plugin or something along those lines. So now my server's running. Hopefully that the Minecraft thing isn't down for maintenance like it was yesterday. But I always have it in direct connect again, so I can go on my local host. Hopefully I won't be banned off all servers like I was yesterday. So there you go. So now I'm in my server, so I'll just let the chunk slow 1 minute. So I'm gonna get a ton of lag recording this because it's it's a server file. It's quite a big file running, and I'm trying to run Minecraft and Bandicam, everything at the same time. But anyway, so this is probably really laggy, but so this is the server that's generated, and I've got it so it doesn't announce the achievements. But so it's gonna say it's gonna run out of ticks for me because I really haven't really got that much good connection really, but because of my recording. So basically now you have your server just like on your other server, and then what you want to do is you run it up yourself. So basically you can just it's just the same as the other console command for the simple server. You just type in commands into here without doing any slashes or anything. Now I'm up, so now I can change my game mode again. So I'll first go over World Edit because it's probably one of my favourites. So with World Edit you get to do the funniest thing I say in World Edit is to get you need a wooden axe. You have to be up to use it as well. But you get a wooden axe and you're gonna left click somewhere, and it's just in the bottom left first position set, and then you're gonna right click somewhere else, and that'll set your second position. But when you left click, it won't actually destroy the block. It'll destroy it for a split second. It'll come back. If there was like a redstone torch or a torch on top of it, it wouldn't also destroy it. So now you've got both positions set. You can do slash, make sure it's a double slash. So slash set, and then you can set it to any Minecraft material. So you can either type in the name, or you can type in the block ID. If it's a big name or if it's a type of block, it's best to type in the ID. But I'm just gonna, for this purpose of the tutorial, just say stone. So there you go. It's changed it instantly to stone. It's changed 49 blocks. It'll tell you how many blocks it's changed. So if you're counting something, it was accurate. And then if you want to undo what you've done, you can just do // undo. And also, let's say I did it over like, I don't know, if I did it over like a pit of lava or something, it wouldn't destroy the lava. It would put the lava back where it was. If you get what I mean by that. If you're new to Minecraft, you might not. But there you go. But that's the fun part. You can make huge structures with that. Basically, if you want to build a structure from nothing, you basically got to build the tower up, and then set your second position. And I'm going to set diamond. So as you can see, I made a diamond tower almost here. So you can build giant structures with this. This really helps when you want to build things like the castle me and you built in that other video. That we use a lot of that. World Edit to make a lot of that, except for the diagonal walls, which are really hard. Okay, the second part of World Edit is the brush tool, and the brush tool is pretty easy as well. The brush tool helps quite a lot as well. So basically, to enable the brush tool, it won't enable by itself like the axe does. You can use anything you want, but it's best to do it's a tool, not your hand, because if you use your hand, you have to reset the server or reload the server to be able to use your hand again for just digging and stuff. So I use an iron spade. I tend to use an iron spade or a feather normally, and then so you do // I think it is BR for brush, and then you want to choose your brush size, your brush type. So you can have a sphere, so you do S for sphere, or you can do a cylinder, which is C, but I'm gonna go for sphere. And then then after that you're gonna say what material it's gonna be made out of. So I'm gonna say sponge for the tutorial purposes. Then you're gonna say how big you want it. So if it's 0, it's going to be, let me see. If it's 0, it's just gonna change one block. You can, by the way, you can also do slash undo for this as well. If it's 1, it's gonna do, I'd say about a creeper's explosion kind of size. If you were doing, if you would count it in explosion size, so I'll undo that again. Number 2 is fairly big. I think number 2 is a fair size if you're gonna make like a platform or something. Number 3, that's just basically double of that. 4, pretty big, and then 5, which is the maximum, is that. So you can right click in the sky. It wouldn't open in the sky. It may have just lagged a bit for me, or maybe I can't see it. But I'm not too bothered. So these are the spheres. The cylinders are just the same. I'll just do a size 3 cylinder once I just change it to cylinder. So cylinders do actually help when you're trying to, like, you could be making, I don't know, a platform of some sort somewhere. But what happens when you click on a cylinder in the ground? It replaces blocks in the ground rather than place it on top of the ground. But anyway, so now warps. So warps are pretty easy. To make a warp, you just gotta do you just gotta go somewhere and say set warp, and then you've just gotta name it something. So I'm gonna name this one spawn. So I've made, it'll say the warp spawn has been added. So now to add it to a sign, so little square brackets on your plugin, them. Shift it. And you have the name of the warp using the same user, and it hasn't worked. Apologies, that was very dumb of me. You need to get like, the warp sign spawn plugin for that. No, what I went to do was warp. You just have to be doing commands. You can get a really good sign plugin one though. I use the sign plugin one, and you can do the warps and the sign. So then you warp and you say spawn, and the default time to be warp will be 10 seconds. You can change this in the config file, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm getting warped to here, which is where I set the spawn. It will say delayed warp has been cancelled. That's only when you move. That's just saying that you've warped properly. I'm pretty sure. That's all there is to warps. And the last thing is multi-world. The commands on this can be quite tricky, but they're quite easy when you get the hang of them. So you do MW create and the name of the world. So I'm just going to say test for YouTube purposes. So it'll say it'll say you've successfully created the world. It'll tell you the seed. You can choose what type of world it is, and an extreme hill or something like that. And then, so before you can go to it now, you have to do MW load and then the name of the world. It also tells you to do that. So it's loading it. Expect some lag, so I'll stop recording whilst it does that. Okay, so in the chat it's just said world test loaded successfully. So now you're going to do it /MW go to and the name of the world, and it will warp you there. I'm sure, yep, there you go. Which is perfect. So there's a brand new spanking new world. I don't know why I said that. That was random. Anyway, yes, please don't be hating. So it'll say moved my character to that world test. That's just to let any ops know if you weren't opt. And it'll save it as well. So then what the warp system helps with is you can now set a warp in here. So you can do that. So you can set a warp in here, and then you can warp here from the other world instead of using the MW go to world, which is I find pretty helpful. So if I do just warp spawn, I will warp me in 10 seconds. Okay, I've been teleported to spawn. Now I just do again warp test, as I called it. I warp in 10 seconds again. I'll record this one so you don't think I'm cheating. Here we go. So I'm back on this world. As you probably noticed on the other world, it was night, and this one's day. So the times and stuff will vary on each day unless you set the times like the exact same, like in. Yeah. Okay. I've been recording for a long time now, so I really better stop recording. So that's basically just your server. I'm going to quit the game now. So you can just say stop. Any different plugins might be in multicolor on this, so I'm going to press stop. And now I'll quickly go over the last thing in the Bukkit server thing, which is quickly as you can see here, this is the world test I made. This is like this one. That's the data for the world. Same for that one. So if you're going to delete a world, you can delete it in there. So if you go in your plugins, you'll see above these jar files now, you'll have all these folders. And if you go into these, let's say Easy Warp, there'll be these config files. And you can configure how long the warp delay is. So I usually make mine about 3 seconds. You can do permissions, and you can have so you can have signs. I must have just done it wrong. And stuff like that. And it will open the thing you've set it as, the default file format you've set it as. Mine is just WordPad. So you can edit all these different ones. Okay, so I think that about wraps the video up. I better start editing this now. So yeah. So guys, I will see you in the next video. Hope this helps you. Bye.